We have been all over Metro Atlanta.
Yeah.
As we said, our crews are spread out, trying to keep you as informed as possible. And we know that another group that is spread out all across the state are power crews. They are staging across the state in advance of the storm so they can be ready to respond when the worst passes us by.
Absolutely. So we're talking about freezing temperatures, ice and heavy wind could pose massive threats to the classic city. We're talking about Athens right now. Let's get up there to 11 Live Joe Ripley. He joins us live in Athens. This is right near the University of Georgia. So Joe, how are things, what are the linemen up there preparing? What are they doing for the storm?
Yeah, Ron, Jennifer, we are just steps away from the iconic arch here on Broad Street in downtown Athens. And as you can see behind me, things are pretty normal for right now. We've seen people in cars about, but it's right down the road that we've seen linemen already starting to deploy, just staging and getting positioned for what's to come later tonight, the worst of this winter weather event. We were told earlier that more than 100 linemen from all over the southeast have come right here to Athens. They're expecting widespread power outages from this winter storm. The trucks are weatherized and outfitted with technology to make sure crews can endure the rough conditions to come. I spoke with Ralston Suits with Power Pros. That's a union contractor that works to restore power nationwide. And Suits expects a major weather event tonight and overnight. He says crews are ready to respond whenever and wherever they're needed most. Crews are going to work 16-hour days, he says, try and get a nap in when they can, and then go right back to work. Suit says he's preparing for the worst case scenario and plans for crews to work around the clock to make sure those lights are turned back on.
Now, we're here expecting anything, but we hope for the least amount. We hope that even our families at home don't have to deal with power outages and everything else. So we're just here to help and do whatever we can. We are trained to do as quick as possible, but as safe as possible.
We were speaking with several students from the University of Georgia here on campus, and a lot of them plan to hunker down here. They don't want to chance any travel on the roads, especially with some living out of state. Some students living a couple of hours away. They said they're going to have everything they need as far as, power, medication, food, water, what have you, to make sure that they can stay safe and warm. Suits says any advice for folks planning to weather this storm, he says make sure you do have that extra food, water, and a reserve battery source, power source, because power will likely go out. We're live here in Athens. Joe Ripley, 11 Alive News.
All right, Joe, you kind of beat me to the punch. I know that's your old stomping grounds, mine too. And I was going to ask you if you would happen to see any students out there. We were getting new information from the University of Georgia earlier this week where they were telling those students that they are urging them to get out and go home if they could. We know not everybody is able, but we do know that that was the word because of these conditions that they're anticipating up there.
All right, Joe.
Yeah, that's right, Jennifer. I was here, sorry, Ron, to cut you off there. I was here in 2014 when there was a major snow and ice storm back then, and a lot of us, myself included, tried to weather the storm here on campus. And I think the university learned that, any word we can give out to help people prepare for this and get out before the worst comes, that's the way we want to plan things. So we're continually monitoring any messaging the University of Georgia is putting out there. There are also local shelters here around the Athens area for folks who may not be close to campus, who are just looking for a warm place to stay tonight. Even though, it may feel cold now, it's only going to get colder, expecting the heavy winds to pick up, freezing temperatures to come, and then that ice, the most dangerous part of this storm that I've heard from so many people. It's hard to potentially prepare for, but once it gets here and you have no other options, you want to be in a safe space. So that's why, we continually emphasize the dangers and risk with this storm.